Oh, looks like Tam didn't find anything in Sahasrara's house, but is going to go to Eastern. And having this bow makes a lot of sense. And HolySmoke also about to get the bow off of the floating island. Alright, Tam into Eastern. First chest is a heart container. HolySmoke doing Spiral Cave. Also getting their shield. Right, second chest in Eastern for Tam is the big key. HolySmoke getting his hammer out of Paradox. Okay, 300 rupees is our second item in Eastern. We get the map in the big chest, so Tam decides to go to the big key chest. Which may be a compass, I think, but is going for the thorough approach. HolySmoke following behind, going to Sahasrara's. Yeah, Green Pendant, Ice Palace. Okay, and HolySmoke had already marked that, or sorry, Phoenix had already marked that for Tam. I missed that the first time, but Green Pendant Ice means probably we're not going there. Okay, 20 rupees in the big key chest in Eastern. So it was the last item, but it was not essential to get that. So Tam heading towards the back now. And HolySmoke is heading towards the entrance of Eastern. Both swords that we know of so far were in Kakariko. And Tam has not been to Kakariko yet. Although Tam has sometimes been known to not go to Kakariko at all in seeds, but I think they're going to have to in this particular seed. Given not only the swords, but the Fire Rod and Samaria were also there. So it was a very stacked village today. And hopefully Tam will finish this dungeon up soon, because both people in Eastern is, no, not very riveting, but we'll get through it together. Yeah, I don't know, the stream had froze a couple times on my end, so I didn't see that if it happened, so I apologize. We'll try to pay attention to their inventories. Tam gets the crystal from Eastern, decides to save and quit. And Tam is probably heading to town. Looks like there was also a red boomerang and I think a shovel. We missed this as well the first time. Yeah, okay, so the ice rod was in Blind's hut. Oh, both rods in Kakariko today. Very, very stacked items today. Oh, Tam also getting Sword and Samaria out of the well. And HolySmoke's just finishing up Eastern. Tam gets their fire rod from the tavern, and I don't believe we've seen this sick kid check before. Okay, and it is nothing today, just a few bombs. Yeah, HolySmoke completes Eastern. So I'm curious how Tam decides to route this desert area. Is it going for the boss the way HolySmoke did it left apparently 3 things behind because I didn't know we had the shovel the first time. So HolySmoke, I guess, did not want to clip that way, so decided to save and quit. Alright, Tam into desert. We know there's nothing here of value, like item-wise, but I am very curious where they decide to go after this. And it looks like we're getting a pod play from HolySmoke. Setting up the Kiki skip. Okay, very nice, first try. Alright, HolySmoke. Remembering to unlock the front door or resetting the dungeon. I mean, that's more of a me problem because I don't play HMG that often, but it is very helpful to unlock that door. Okay, so Tam is exiting back to the overworld. Let's see what they decide to do. So Tam is going to show us some overworld checks, and may probably decide to go back for the boss. So doing Agina first. HolySmoke just finding some small keys, as you would expect in pod. No items yet. Just a heart container in Agina for Tam. But there are two more things that HolySmoke left behind in this area that... Curious if that will impact the race or not. Okay, another small key for HolySmoke. Art container. So our first dungeon, a non-dungeon item rather. Only 50 rupees in K45. Now Tam going to check the flute location. And just bombs, so nothing. So HolySmoke just flat out saved time by not doing this. Unless they decide to go back later. Alright, on the right side of pod now, we have a big key. And a small key. So it looks like the 4 items are going to be in the back and or on the boss. Just having a bit of trouble there with that stair extension. There we go. Very nice. That's kind of a weird trick. It's not extremely difficult, but it is an interesting one. Another heart container. Big chest of pod. Just the map in the dark maze so far, and Tam is going to fight Lamolas. A heart piece in the other chest in the dark maze. So that should be 2 items left. And Tam defeats Lanmo. All tied up, 2-2 crystals at the moment. A shield in the basement and magic powder. So, their last item should be on the boss then, I think. And HolySmoke decided not to go for it, probably because it was a pendant. Okay, there's also not having the lamp, but they at least had the fire rod, so it would not have been completely awful. Oh, Tam doing a fake flute. Okay, so it's our first look in the dark world. Okay, Tam intentionally taking a death, so what this does is it places Tam in the fake dark world. Meaning that they will be able to check the chest game and the other 2 overworld checks on the Village of Outcast screen without having the Moon Pearl after they clear this dungeon. And HolySmoke making a play for South Shore. Got their bottle out of the dam and rupees out of Mini Muldorm Cave. Alright, I have not been counting the items in Thieves Town, but I saw we got rupees, and I don't think we had found anything else unique yet. Okay, HolySmoke going to Zora, it looks like. Presumably going to get their bombos off of the ledge. Oh yeah, and Blue Mail was in the waterfall too. The Tam bombing some crickets just because we can. Alright, so HolySmoke killed the water walk by picking up that item, but may decide to splash delete to get this bombos. This is a lot harder than doing the clip, in my personal opinion, because you have to splash twice, but HolySmoke makes it look easy, very nice. Okay, more rupees in the maiden cell. A piece of heart in the big chest. Okay, so HolySmoke is going to go back and clean up this overworld that was left behind earlier. I'm not gonna find anything, but they don't know that, of course. So it looks like logically our progression is pointing towards Uncle or the castle, because like what Tam's doing right now is not in logic. It is progress towards beating the seed, but the logic does not expect you to fake flute to Thieves Town. Okay, blind is defeated, very nice. I missed what the fourth item was, but I don't think it was anything, because our tracker didn't mark anything. Alright, so like I said earlier, Tam death warping in the dungeon gives us this fake Dark World state, and this is a property of the vanilla game. For those that aren't aware, it's just patched out of no glitches randomizer. Alright, so HolySmoke going to check the uncles. We see a glove. So that's kind of unfortunate since they were just next to Checkerboard Cave and did not have that glove. And Checkerboard Cave is in logic, so it could have our progression item, or it could be here in the castle as well. Also, the powder is in logic as well, or the half magic bat check, rather. That is another thing that could be progression that we've not seen yet. So Tam is in the Dark World again. I'm curious where we're going this time. Oh, Tam is doing a citrus clip to go to Ganon's Tower. This is an interesting play, and it actually makes sense because I mean, they have Hammer and Samaria and Fire Rod, so we can do a lot there. It's not in logic, but Ganon's Tower is a required dungeon. This is not Fast Ganon. This is the Defeat Ganon rules, which means 7 crystals, tagging him to. Alright, another battle in Zelda's cell. HolySmoke decides to save and quit. That looks like an accidental overmash there with getting a Link's house start. That is honestly very painful. Even though it only looks like a few seconds, that is quite a costly mistake. I've done that before myself. I do feel the pain of that. Extra save and quits, they add up very quickly. At the back of Escape, we see a flute and a mirror, and Tam gets a heart piece in GT Tile Room. So the flute logically does nothing in this mode, but it can be kind of a nice item at times. The mirror, however, gives us logical Pyramid Fairy, and logic. It actually puts into logic what Tam was doing in the Village of Outcasts, because using the mirror to descend the mountain as a bunny is a thing that is in logic. Well, that's not something that is normally done, but we have a lot of ways that are allowed in the rules to, get to that area. The mirror just puts it in logic. But Tam finds silvers in the GT compass room, and HolySmoke goes to town to activate the flute. And yes, as Nobly is saying in chat, Skullwoods also is put into logic by that mirror. And, oh yeah, and Turtle Rock and Mimic Cave as well. Alright, so Magic Bat for HolySmoke. Okay, just bombs. Tam continuing to clear out GT. And not finding anything super helpful. I mean, those silvers were nice, but certainly not required. Okay, so I don't know if we knew that before, but now we know that Meyer is our last pendant. It's HolySmoke giving us a nice long map check. Alright, looks like HolySmoke wants to cross the mountain using the mirror, and this is called a mirror wrap. Oh, never mind. We're doing a fake flute. I lied. They were just using the mirror to set it up. My apologies. Okay, just 50 rupees on the bumper ledge, but HolySmoke does do the tree pull to get a link state, and not sure what they want to do with this. Tam finally finding the big key in Mike/Bob's chest, depending on who you ask. Alright, nothing behind Ice Armos. We see the Moon Pearl is in the big key chest in Skull Woods on HolySmoke's side. So, and that is in logic because of the mirror. So, some good deduction on HolySmoke's part. Alright, just a Burna in the big chest, and Tam decides to climb later, which makes sense. Not, you know, not having the hook shot, it makes it obnoxious. As a HolySmoke going for the boss in Skullwoods, Tam is going for a pod play. HolySmoke getting a bit trolled by the moth, not getting off the top, but does get the kill. For a map and a crystal. Tam into pod. Just a small key under the bridge, so it looks like HolySmoke wants to dig out the last item. Also pretty convenient that they did that overworld link state and found the Moon Pearl, so I guess it wouldn't really matter because they have the mirror, but no death warping being required or extra mirroring is always a plus. Okay, and we see the mushroom in the front of Skullwood, so that is both items. Alright, well, these runners are just retracing each other's steps. This is a good time to say, please give these runners a follow if you're enjoying the show, if you haven't already. I'm gonna take a second to check out the bracket because I did not do my homework before the race started. I'm curious where we are at here. Okay, so this is a lower bracket, round 4. So Tam defeated Muffins and Doomtap previously. And apparently lost to a Physial Alex 2K6 to arrive in the lower bracket, so that is kind of an upset, I would have to say. I've never heard of that person, to be honest, but it just goes to show Rando is anyone's game. And holy smoke. Was defeated by Mr. Fire in round 2 upper bracket. Alright, it looks like Tam has decided to check out the castle, and Holy Smoke's just been clearing out Thieves Town. Tam gets their glove off of the ankle. Okay, so since Swamp is a crystal today, we are looking for flippers and hookshot still. And that really seems to be about it for our go mode. Of course, the seed could, you know, do some trolly things and force us to go into Mire, which we may or may not have the medallion for. I do not think the big key was accessible in Hera. And if the hookshot is also not accessible, they'll have to unlock the door from Mire. Of course, there are a lot of places we haven't checked yet, though, so no telling. Alright, Holy Smoke defeats Blind. It's his 4th crystal on the board, taking a slight lead here. And Tam checking out the back of Escape, getting their flute and mirror. Alright, Tam back in the Dark World. Holy Smoke going to do some digging. Alright, Tam's doing another citrus. This is just a bunny DMD citrus. DMD as in Death Mountain Descent. This is not in logic, but descending the mountain using the mirror, which is a lot slower, is in logic. Just for whatever reason, for the history of overworld glitches and rando, it was decided to be that way, but nonetheless, we are descending the mountain. Holy Smoke gets a heart piece from digging and goes to check out the Mire shed. Just a piece of heart and some arrows there. Tam checking out the bumper ledge, sees that it's nothing. And I'd have to imagine we're going into Skullwoods, since Tam already did the village. And it looks like Holy Smoke is going for Blockbuster. I mean, Hammer Pegs is in logic with just having the hammer, but this is another way to check it without using the hammer. If we get it. And it is a bit of a tricky thing. This is one of the few tricks I actually never learned how to do, but it is. Looks like he's gonna give up on it. Yeah, unfortunate. That would have been cool to see. But oh well. Wait, maybe. No, maybe they did get it. Alright, so. Oh no, they're just checking Checkerboard Cave anyway. So the second step of doing Blockbuster to Hammer Pegs requires going to Checkerboard anyway, so that's why I was a little confused as to what was going on with that. And we see that Meyer is Bombos and HolySmoke is opening, which presumably the only reason you open it is if you're going in. And meanwhile, Tam got their pearl from the big key chest in Skull Woods, and also going to take down Mothula. Tam showing some better control of the moth, keeping it off the top of the screen. That was a pretty nice fight. Tying it up at 4 crystals each. And Tam also has GT progress. That big key was deep, and, you know, being all the way almost to Ice Armos, so that is something else to think about for later. To answer a question in chat, we do some glitches that require potions. However, door glitches are banned in this rule set. So we can only do YBAs on the overworld, and both of them actually did do an overworld YBA in this race, a fake flute. So for those that don't know the rules, this is based off of like a version of the restricted major glitches format, I should say. And what that means is the categories of glitches that are banned include door glitches, wrong warps, and misslotting. And YBAs in a dungeon is classified as a door glitch. Tam doing a mirror wrap to get to Laser Bridge and Turtle Rock. And HolySmoke is clipping to Hera from Meyer. With no sign of the hook shot and Hera being a crystal, this makes a lot of sense. They could also choose to go to Swamp if they want afterwards. Oh, Tam not finding anything on Laser Bridge except for some small keys, and HolySmoke having a little bit of trouble with this dash citrus. It looks good so far this time. Alright, very nice. Alright, I just want to reiterate that what HolySmoke is doing is in logic. This is the way that the logic expects you to unlock the Hera big door. Assuming the big key's not already accessible, which is not in this case. And also, pertaining to Swamp, one of the Meyer small keys is expected to be used to open Swamp as well, outside of the 1 in 10 chance of a vanilla small key in the first chest of Swamp. So HolySmoke unlocks the big key door, and Tam exploring Turtle Rock, looking for items. Okay, HolySmoke not opening the other chests is a little bit surprising to me. But we're going to Swamp anyway. a hookshot in the big key chest of Turtle Rock. So that is a very good find. It will save Tam some of the work that HolySmoke is doing. And it is one of our required Go mode items as well. Okay, so still not found the big key, it doesn't look like. Although there are other items in this dungeon, so... Damn, going all the way to the front. Alright, HolySmoke. I missed it, but I'm gonna assume they unlocked the front door, of Swamp. That is a thing that sometimes people forget to do, despite that being the entire purpose of the operation, but I'm gonna assume that it was done. And Hype Cave. So far, nothing. Yeah, nothing. Alright, so we see the big key and 50 rupees in the roller room in Turtle Rock. Tam mirrors all the way back to Laser Bridge, going for the boss now. And sorry to inform everyone that I was not counting items, so I have no idea of the status of the big chests, but the big chest in Turtle Rock is an extremely awkward check in this mode. So I'm not surprised that we're not seeing it. It's just very inconvenient because it would have ruined that mirror warp that we just did to get back to the back where we started. So, our next fight for Tam, doing some nice hammering. Alright, and HolySmoke went back to Para. And it looks like they found the big key in the compass chest, and then the compass in the big chest. Oh, the small key is on the boss. That's going to be really big for Tam, because that will save them a lot of hassle. Or if the... I don't know if I misspoke. I meant to say small key. I might have... Well, anyway. Okay, just rupees on Moldorm, so... Small key in the basement is bad news for Tam, but... Nonetheless, I'm sure they'll get through it. And both runners picking up a crystal, keeping it relatively even at 5-5. It's possible there was a dungeon item in the big chest and that nothing was left behind, but... Or maybe not. But this could just be Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny. We've not seen this area yet. I like that. Malmo in chat saying the TR Big Chest is overworld. I mean, it pretty much is. It's kind of just out of the way. And HolySmoke also going to East Darkworld Death Mountain. But not having the hookshot, presumably they're not getting everything in Hover Cave. I mean, Hookshot Cave. Well, we'll have to find out. But not that anything important was there, but they don't know that. And nothing in Super Bunny Cave. Alright, it looks like Tam is going to show us Mimic Cave at least. Maybe Tam was counting items and knows there's nothing in the big chest. Alright, nice sword in Mimic Cave. And Tam did save and quit, so perhaps there was nothing in the big chest after all. HolySmoke leaving Hookshot Cave after one check, the bonk check, as I was predicting. It looks like HolySmoke wants to set up the mirrorless wrap to Laser Bridge. This is kind of an involved thing. It's not extremely difficult, but it is a lot of steps. And it's possible to overshoot, which leads to messing up the whole trick. Alright, Tam into GT. And logically, our flippers could be up here, and this is a required dungeon, so I do agree with this decision. And HolySmoke is having a little trouble getting started with this. Which is unfortunate because they could have done the mirror wrap by now with this amount of time. And it looks like they are deciding to do just that. So they were trying to do a super speed version of one of the steps, and which is possible, but it is easier to just dash buffer through on that step. Alright. Quick mirror wrap from HolySmoke. Tam into the gauntlet. And Malmo in chat also saying that the boots clip, also referred to as dash buffering, is easier for that step. It's also easy if you have the hook shot, but HolySmoke did not have that. Because you could do a sword out hook speed and just hold left, and it achieves the same thing. Alright, Tam is climbing very quickly, as we would expect from Tam, being a very experienced runner in this game, both vanilla and randomizer. It looks like Tam didn't trust their movement in that last room, though, decides to wait out the jingle glitch, which is not patched out of glitched modes of rando, so that's heads up to play it safe there. Alright, so far unfortunately not finding anything item-wise though, but we have 2 more items. Or 2 more chests, I should say. They don't have to be items, and one is a small key. Alright, nice kill on Moldorm 2. HolySmoke picks up his hook shot. And just 2 rupees in the top chest in GT, so... sorry. 5 rupees. I had to say blue rupees. Sorry, I'm having a lot of trouble today. Take a moment to hydrate. Everyone should stay hydrated, just a friendly reminder. Oh, nice triple. Alright, Tam going for the clipe out. And we get it. Very nice. Definitely saves a few seconds if you get it quickly like that. And Tam also showing that you actually have a fair bit of time to retry that, because that actually wasn't their first try getting the clip, but they still got the maximum amount of time save from skipping the bat cutscene. Alright, Tam is setting up a fake flipper to do a swim clip to check the Pyramid Fairy. HolySmoke gets the big key in Turtle Rock. And decided to Death Warp. I'm guessing they were low on health in the first place. Alright, nothing in Pyramid Fairy, and Tam decides to skip Hammer Pegs, which is kind of a somewhat common thing to do from there in this mode after GT. But it is slow, so I don't blame them for skipping it. It is a bit of a long swim to get over there. Oh, the question becomes, if you don't check it, then probably means you're not checking it for a while, if ever. But Tam decides to check the man under the bridge instead. Finds nothing. Save and quit mountain. Meanwhile, HolySmoke fighting Trinox into phase 2. And gets it down with a spin and some hammers. Tam checking King's Tomb by descending the mountain in a specific way. Not finding anything though. Alright, HolySmoke. 6th crystal, the defeat of Trinox. Tam into Hype Cave. And we know this is nothing from earlier, and HolySmoke going back for Hookshot Cave. This is also going to be nothing. I don't think we've seen this Stumpy check. Or wait, no, maybe we did see it from... HolySmoke was... I don't know, they were kind of all over the place. Because they skipped it earlier. And they came back later. Anyway, it was nothing. And we also know that this big game is just going to be a heart piece. So our locations where these flippers can be... Mire... Hammer Pegs, Ice Palace, it could be on this mushroom turn-in. But just the cape, which logically doesn't do anything for us. But yeah, I think there's really not too many places left. Helmasaur, I believe, has an item, and Green Pendant also is an item. There's not too many places left these can be, just because we're locked out of, like, the MITS checks. Logically, we're locked out of them. Although it is possible to do them. Oh yeah, Spike Cave, this is something else. Excuse me. It also could be on a tablet, and like we could have to find the book leading to that. But Tam is going into my... Oh, the flippers are just here in Spike Cave. Well, that is firmly putting HolySmoke in the driver's seat, unfortunately for Tam. And unfortunately to say, I think that there would have to be some kind of disaster for Tam to want to go to Spike Cave, and even if so, I don't know how there would be time for that, because the time you normally go to Spike Cave is right before GT. Just because of the way that we clip to enter in this mode. I mean, having the Ganon's Tower completion is an advantage for Tam, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. So... And I don't know why HolySmoke is entering Swamp this way, but... Oh, that is a little bit of time donated to Tam. They already unlocked it earlier, so they could have just went it the normal way, you know, having the mirror already. What does Tam have in logic, other than Spike Cave? I was just talking about this earlier. Sorry, I was just having a bit of a slow brain day. Ice Palace is in logic. Helmasaur / Green Pendant. There's an item in Hera. I don't know if Tam knows that it's... Well, either way, they're in Mire, so they could come from here or use the hookshot in Hera. Like I was saying before, we just found the flippers. There's really not much that it could be. We've seen a lot of the game that's other than the MITS checks and like the book checks, because we don't have those items. And Ham is taking a break. I don't know what that's about. Hopefully everything is okay with them. Oh yeah, it's certainly possible the MITs are, you know, behind go mode. I definitely don't think this is a seed where you... Well, I don't know. I don't know when it's good to check that stuff out of logic, because you never know if what your item is going to be logically available, or if it will be, like, behind, like, a fetch quest item that you don't have. Logically, Tam doesn't have a lot, though, outside of Spike Cave. So, I guess it's not impossible for Tam to win, but... The Spike Cave is just really gross, and having already done GT... Yeah, so it's like Hammer Pegs also is another spot that was skipped. That is in logic. Although it looks like Tam actually might be going to Spike Cave right now. Is that or a super jump? Which, I don't know why we would do that with having glove and hammer. Alright, well, Tam is doing the thing. So... Actually... You know what? To forget everything I said earlier. Because Tam has less to do than HolySmoke. I just didn't think that Tam would go to Spike Cave so soon. So Tam just has to kill Moldorm and do Swamp, which is quicker than digging out this big key and climbing. Even if you're fast, like, climbing still takes like 4 minutes, at least, because Agatu is a troll, and Landmo can troll you, and Moldorm can also troll you. And then this key is in a bad location for HolySmoke, so probably actually this is Tam's game now. The unexpected. But yes, Phoenix, that's where it was. As the big key is in the chest above Ice Armos. It looks like Tam knows that the small key is in Dark Cross and is going for that. Given that the Hera small key is not accessible in this seed. That's heads up on Tam remembering where the key was in Hyrule Castle for this steal. Yeah, I'm getting trolled by the Kadango fire. It's unfortunate, because this is starting to look like a really tight race. In truth, it was never not. I just underestimated how quickly Tam would go to Spike Cave. Ammo in chat saying that the silver arrow advantage could be... No, that HolySmoke has silvers as well. Oh, the way they routed GT, it was... The big key was like the last, like, possible check. Which makes sense, like, nobody goes full right. If they'd have went full left, it would have saved them a little bit of time, but they would have not got the silvers. I'm still saying Tam is definitely ahead here. And obviously I've been wrong before, but the swamp does not take that long, and Tam's already heading into the back. And with no disrespect meant to HolySmoke, but I don't see them out-executing Tam on this climb. Although they're doing a good job so far, I have to say. Yeah, not a bad gauntlet, all things considered. A little, as I say that, getting a little bit trolled in the last couple rooms, but still not bad by any means. And saving the one cycle on Landmo too. Definitely a really good effort. They know that it's, I think they can just tell how tight it is. They're trying to hurry. Meanwhile, Tam just finishing up Argus. I know, sometimes when you're doing these races, you just get a feeling like they're definitely not wasting time. Tam does have 7 crystals and just has to run a few screens over to Gian, so... Definitely close, but... HolySmoke definitely is gonna need a mistake from Tam, like a bad mistake. Like a fall. Alright, Tam, it's the Ganon fight. HolySmoke crossing the Moldorm 2 gap. Tam showing us a nice and easy 1-in-1 strat with the hook shot. HolySmoke getting some nice hits on Aga too. Fortunately getting trolled in that last cycle though. Alright, Tam into phase 4. Yeah, a tiny bit of a mistake there, but it's not gonna matter. So Tam still finishes it up. Just needs to cross the gap. And HolySmoke just arriving at the top of the pyramid himself. Very close. Alright. Please get your GGs in chat for Tam, the official winner of today's race, with a time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 16 seconds. A very close race. We are joined by Tam, the winner of today's race. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how did you feel about how you routed that seed?
I feel like I did every possible thing incorrectly, so I was a little surprised to win.
Well,
I mean, the main thing was
flippers and spike cape. Sorry, go ahead.
The flippers sucked at kind of probably a bit of an equalizer, but I was just kind of, sorry, my kid's married. I was like halfway between like wanting to just forget about the pearl and just do dungeons and like clear things looking for it. So I was like kind of a pain. If I just went to either of the dungeons that I could have beaten, I would have found something that would have helped and sped me up. So I was like, I just felt bad about kind of doing things in a inefficient manner.
It was pretty aggressive to go to GT when you did, but at the same time, having all the stuff to clear out the basement, it still made sense to me. And HolySmoke did get the flippers before you, but since you had so little left in logic that you ended up getting the flippers sooner than I expected you to, and it ended up being an extremely close race. So, I mean, it was a great show. So, I mean, I don't think you should feel bad at all, though. I mean, it's Brando. Sometimes stuff works, and, you know, sometimes... Well, you just never know. Sorry. Didn't really say what I was trying to think, but... Anyways, GG to HolySmoke as well, who is now joining us.
He's leaving us.
We just lost him. Maybe a bit of a technical issue.
In hindsight, it didn't really matter much because whether I had gotten the pearl or hookshot earlier, I still would have been late to the flippers. So it was mostly just a feels bad.
Hello.
Hey, GG.
GG's. Assume you also cleared pot?
Tam did do pod, but did not do the boss.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
I was like, I put it off for a while, and I'm like, well, if it's pearl, I'll just do whatever.
Hmm.
Because the items that we needed for go mode at that point could not have locked the pearl, so I figured it was fine to leave.
Yeah. It was pretty nice seat overall, I think.
Yeah.
Lots
It was
of
alright.
crystal progression.
I got
Well,
flippers quite late, but other than that, it was pretty good.
yeah, same.
Yeah, it was a very close race from the spectator perspective. So HolySmoke, you did get the flippers slightly sooner, and I was predicting that you were ahead, but it turned out to be an incorrect, you know, assessment on my part, because Tam had already cleared GT, which, given how deep the big key is,
Oh,
like,
the
it
big key.
took quite a long time for you to...
Yes.
That was the reason why Tam had enough time to, you know, make sure they won the race, despite, you know, being later to the flippers. Just having GT done earlier and maybe just slightly better, you know, room-to-room execution. But I don't think you did bad at all by any means. But I think the only like real mistake you made was having a little bit of trouble getting
The
into Eternal
blockbuster.
Lock.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm so
you
sad
gotta
I
do
missed the
it.
blockbuster.
Oh yeah, I
Well.
forgot about that. So we never did end up seeing Hammerbags, but yeah, I was saying that would have been cool if we got to see the blockbuster, because it's... And I personally am a big fan of it because it's one of the things I actually didn't learn how to do, like one of the few things. So
I just learned it half an hour before the race, so my muscle memory for that first frame race isn't that strong.
Yeah, it's tough to get.
Oh, we do appreciate the effort, though.
Thanks. And I don't think that was 1.5 minutes. It might have been. Maybe 1 minute closer. Anyway.
Well, it made sense because you were going to check checkerboard anyway, so
Yep,
like, it made sense
exactly.
to try to set it up. But so this was game 1, correct?
Yes.
Game 2 tomorrow.
Same time.
Oh?
Don't think I have anything more for the seed. Thanks for the restream. And short notice commentary.
Yeah.
Also tracking.
Yes, big thank you to Phoenix for tracking for us, and thank you both for playing. It was a great show.
Thanks.
Yeah, I lost my tab. I was gonna try to read the schedule. See what else we got going on here.
I think our game 2 is next, and after that it's game 2 from Sean and Malmo.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, so tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern will be the rematch, as you just said, and then at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, Secretly a Sliver, aka Sean versus Malmo, game 2. And then we have Friday, we have Nobly versus Obscure Life Form at 3 p.m. Eastern, and at 9:30 p.m. Eastern again will be Malmo versus Secretly a Sliver. If that's game 3 if necessary. That's all we have on the schedule right now, but more soon. So just a heads up for everyone that is interested. And congratulations again to Tam and GG HolySmoke. And thank you to Rick or whoever, somebody fixed our restream issues that happened at the beginning of the race, so thank you to them for that. And please follow our runners. I don't have anything else for us, so we will see you next time. Thank you.
Good night.